So, fixing a shotgun cabinet in a new build in a loft, all you have, in my house anyway, to fix it to is thermalite block, which obviously is quite weak and porous. You can't use normal roll bolts because it crushes. There's a couple of ways to do it. Chemical anchoring it, which I haven't tried, and I've done a bit of research and found some fixings called Rigifix. So Rigifix is, you can get them in M6 and M8. It's a wall plug just for porous block. It works well with thermalite. You drill out the hole to 16mm, put this wall plug in, then you have a threaded anchor. This threaded anchor screws straight into there, and then you have an M8 bolt to fit inside the sleeve there. I don't know whether you can see that, and that'll hold it secure. So as a test, the 4 pre-drilled holes in my cabinet, I've spotted through them holes with an 8mm drill bit just to get a central position, and already fitted the Rigifix to see if they're strong enough, which they are. I've opted to put 10 in, so 2, 4, 6, and then 2 in the top pre-drilled hole and 2 in the bottom pre-drilled hole to make it extra secure, and it'll be an extra block so it's much stronger. After doing that, we've got 4 holes in the bottom, which I'm just going to secure with an M8 bolt and a nut to the floorboard by drilling through at 8mm, putting the bolt through, and then lifting the adjacent floorboards and reaching underneath to put the nut on. Next thing I did was I got my 16mm spade bit. You don't really need anything too heavy duty to go through thermalite because it's so soft, and then taped up the shank of the drill bit to how deep I need to go. When I've done it with the previous wall plugs, it pushes out the back of the block only just, so the wall plugs gripping the full length of the block. So as you can see, I spotted a hole there at 8mm, so I'm just going to drill to 16. As you can see there, it's gone right through the other side, but it's just to the edge of the shank. So I'm just going to continue to do this for the further 6 holes that I have to drill. So as you can see, that's a fully installed Rigifix with threaded sleeve. I don't know if you can see that, and I've put all my plugs in, ready to hammer in. To do this, it's just like a normal wall plug. Push it in as far as it goes, and then just give it a knock until it's flush with the surface. There you go, that one done. And again. Next one. Now I'm being really gentle with this hammer, just so I don't damage the block, but if you want to be more careful, you can use a rubber mallet, which will cause less damage, or a nylon hammer if need be. So that's all 6 in now, flush. Next thing to do is to remove the machine screws from the end of here, leaving you with the anchor sleeve. The anchor sleeve installs simply by inserting it into the wall plug. Then you use an 8mm Allen key to wind it in. Now it requires a little bit of forward pressure to get the threads to bite. And once the threads start taking, it becomes much easier. So I'll just show this now. So we're going to wind this anchor sleeve all the way in till it's flush with the wall plug. Now, the kit I bought provided me with an 8mm Allen key, but it's a very short Allen key, and the further you get down, the more it bites into the wall plug, the stiffer it gets. So I have bigger Allen keys, so I just opted to use one of them just for my own ease. It is possible with a small 8mm Allen key to wind it in, because I did the other 4 with that. So I'll just keep going. It's quite hard with one hand. Ooh. You see it's getting quite stiff now, but that's okay. That means it's biting the wall plug really good, and it makes for a solid fixing. Personally, I think these Rigifix fixings are probably the best thing out here that I've tried for going into thermalite block. Chemically anchoring was my next option if this didn't work. Never tried it. I've seen multiple ways of doing it, and when I actually emailed a company, Fisher, to see what they suggested with their anchoring system, they suggested a cone drill, which actually makes a cone shape cavity in the back of the hole in the brick. And I think the idea behind this is to fill it with the chemical anchor, and it creates almost like a large plug of anchor. The beauty of that is it's very, very strong, but it's also a permanent fixing. Once you've wound your stud in, it's there forever. Whereas the beauty of this is I can take the bolts out, leave these in the wall if I want to, and not have to worry about, you know, 10-15mm of threaded bar sticking out from the wall. So there we go, that's nice and flush with the collar out, so you'll feel it lock up there, and that's when you know it's in. So I'm going to continue to do that for the further 5 I have to do, and then I'll show you what to do next. So now I've got all 10 fitted, so it's time now to offer the cabinet up. With the machine screws, I've opted to use a large diameter M8 washer just to spread the load a bit more around the holes. So what we've got to do is just offer it up and just get the threads to bite. That's the first one in. Do this for all 10. Before we tighten, to make sure that all of them will fit, the cabinet's lined up. Okay, so depending on how straight and in line your holes are, just depends whether the cabinet needs a bit more manipulation or not to get all the bolts in. I need to manipulate mine quite a bit, hence why I cut that part of the video short. Now once we've got all them in, we can either use a screwdriver or we can use a drill with a screwdriver bit in to tighten it up. I'm just going to opt to use a screwdriver because then I get a good feel of how tight they are. It's worth noting, if you want to, you can use just normal M8 bolts with a hex head and a 13mm socket, but it just so happens the ones they provided have a cross point. So that's them all tightened up. I tighten them all up, nip them, and then tighten them up individually and double check them. So that's it now fixed to the wall. Step back. So it's supported by the floorboard there, and then it's fixed onto the thermalite block. Now originally I did say I was going to put 4 bolts into the floorboard, but for the purpose of this video I'm not going to. I'll do it later on, but just to give you an idea of how strong 10 Rigifix at M8 into thermalite block is. I mean, I don't know whether you can see that, but that isn't shifting at all. And once the cabinet is closed, I mean, even if I get my hand there, it's not moving. This is not moving. So when the firearms officer comes round to inspect my cabinet, he's not going to be able to pull that off the wall, and that is what he's looking for, a bit of security and peace of mind for yourself, knowing that it's not going to be a quick grab off the wall. Now that being said, I'm not guaranteeing that this will work. Every sort of county is different, every firearms officer is different, it's an individual basis, but I'm sure if you use these Rigifix fixings like I have, even just 10 of them, and that may be a little bit overkill, I just want it to be extra secure, that it will be suitable. One thing to note about fixing a shotgun cabinet is if you put it in a location, you want to make sure that it's flat up against a wall so somebody can't get a crowbar in behind. And if you can't get it flat up against a wall, you could just put a wooden trim around it. Yeah, that's it. So from when I started searching online, there was no one actually doing a video on how to fix a shotgun cabinet to thermalite, perhaps because maybe not many people do it because it's a weak block, but it's a problem a lot of people may have in a new build property. I mean, they're all built that way nowadays. So I hope that's helped anyone who's struggling. Like I said, I've not tried chemically anchoring. It seems easy enough from what I've read online, but with these fixings I haven't needed to. I've done my research and actually spoke to the technical department who create these fixings, and they basically said that M8 is overkill for what most people use, and they use them for mounting flat screen TVs through dot and dab walls, but obviously I went for the M8 because it provides more strength. I bought mine off Amazon. You can search for them online, you can buy them direct from the company. I just happened to get them from Amazon because I had a bit of money in my account. I'll leave a link in the description to the website of the company that supply them, and then you can do your own homework from there. Thanks for watching.